Hey everyone, GreymanX6 again for another death battle reaction, and this time it's Ghost Rider vs. Spawn, which I'm finally getting to after feeling like absolute garbage for the week right after it dropped, so I'm delayed in watching and seeing how it goes. Yeah, these two characters. You know, I remember back when I was in junior high and high school, the 90s, oh, these characters were so cool, they looked so awesome, but I never really got into them because they were just so awesome. I got the impression, especially because of peer pressure and all the people teasing me that, oh, it was too much comic book. It was just too awesome for some little wusso like me, this little dork, to get into. But now that I've grown up, I still really haven't gotten into them. Spawn, I liked that movie in the late 90s, but I never really got into the comics. I never really got into any Image comics, really. And Ghost Rider, I only bother reading him when he, well, shows up in a guest star in something else I'm reading, like Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, what have you. Anyway, first death battle reaction I've done in a while. I haven't really been doing as many of them lately. Figure it's time to do more with this channel, other than that, and then unboxing figures and showing gaming pickups or whatever. We'll get to that, but for now, finally time to watch this. 3, 2, 1, go.
Ghost Rider versus Spawn. The Spirit of Vengeance versus the Dark Angel of Armageddon. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Johnny Blaze has always been a man possessed, chasing the thrill of certain doom by performing death-defying stunts, following the example of his adoptive father, Crash Simpson. Until the day Crash lived up to his name and got cancer. Heartbroken and without enough Wampa fruit to save him, Johnny turned to the only thing that could: chemotherapy. The devil. Oh! To cure Crash's cancer, Johnny sold his soul to Mephisto, king of the 8th layer of hell. Only for Crash to actually live up to his name right after. But instead of scooping up Johnny's soul,
I also kind of liked the Ghost Rider movie too. Never did see Spirit of Vengeance.
Divine wrath, Zarathos, the Spirit of Vengeance. So Johnny Blaze
got some appropriate heavy metal rock to go with it.
An undead skeleton biker with a sick-ass hug. The 5th scariest Nick Cage performance. The stuntman from hell. He called himself the Daredevil. Sorry, Johnny, that name's taken. Okay, then how about the
Ghost Rider?
Sure.
Casper and Beetlejuice, really?
That we named the character the same thing only 5 years earlier. All you. The Ghost Rider.
Marvel's publication history.
Scumbags. He's strong enough to pull down skyscrapers,
damn,
and cause earthquakes that can be felt across whole countries. Don't even think about fighting back. He can remake his whole body from the hellfire that engulfs him, making him immune to all physical damage. Only holy
he got poked in the eye by Raphael?
Can harm him. It's not just his body. His whole arsenal is hellfire. Ghosty can create anything he can think of, from an infinite stream of chains, a shot
shot him right in the dick,
or a flaming missile barfed right out of his mouth. Life goals. And he can imbue other objects with hellfire, such as his Hell Cycle. Oh, this badass bike can outpace Thor's hammer Mjolnir, which destroys the universe in seconds. Hellfire is a weapon in and of itself, whether shot out of his hands, raining down from the sky, or released from his boner, Wiz. And it doesn't just
I got nothing. That tops everything I could have come up with.
This technique would be mastered by Johnny's successor, his own brother, Danny Ketch. Oh yeah, Johnny's not the only Ghost Rider, and Danny was the first to master their most famous move. You know, the one that burns your soul to smithereens with just a look? The Penance Stare. The Penance Stare inflicts upon its victims every ounce of pain they ever wreaked upon others. Every cruelty, no matter how small or righteous, is reflected back. A biblical punishment. Obliterating your soul! It even works on other Ghost Riders, like when Johnny and Danny got into a staring contest and Danny actually depowered Johnny. Eyes are windows to the soul, so the Ghost Rider must be able to match his victim's gaze for the Penance Stare to work. Some
Some people have survived it, like the Punisher supposedly because he didn't regret his actions, but it did work on him.
Of course.
Well,
Punisher isn't really a guy to be emulating, just FYI.
He can use the stare to read minds, force you to confess info, or just show you the error of your ways.
Remember, the Ghost Rider is two souls in one body, with the kinder Johnny battling the demon Zarathos in a war of control.
Ah, classic Faustian bargain. All the power in the world, but if you want it, it uses you. Because if Johnny gives in,
That's the way it
Might will
goes.
take over, and then everything is screwed.
Zarathos' strength is boundless. He can open up portals between dimensions, control the elements, pen and stare an entire city, and fly.
Well, maybe that would
all
actually
the
work
way
on
to
Carnage,
Asgard,
because
which
can't
is
really
a
do it on him because of
infinite
more than
distance
one,
away.
He's
two
manhandled
eyes.
some of Marvel's heaviest hitters, like Thor, World War Hulk, and Doctor Strange. Hell, Strange said Zarathos is a threat to all realms, mortal and immortal.
Hyperbole? Think again. The Archangel Zadkiel said that the power of the Ghost Rider could threaten all of existence, and even bring down heaven.
Awesome!
Right before an army of Ghost Riders did just that. Yeah, an army. The spirits of vengeance are legion.
As far back as the Great Flood, humans have been bonded to the vestiges of God's power to act as his divine wrath on Earth. A sort of heavenly black ops.
Okay, wait, does that make Zarathos an angel now? Or is he still a demon?
Both? Neither? Despite being one of the greatest entities in existence, it's unclear. What we do know is that ages ago, Zarathos feasted on souls and battled Mephisto for rulership of his realm. Mephisto, ever the trickster, claimed victory and gained control of Zarathos forevermore. Hence how he could bond him to Johnny.
But Zarathos got his revenge against that big red bitch with another Ghost Rider, Alejandra Jones. Bet you wish you had one more day to fix that hole in your chest.
Comic book fan punching bag though he made.
Oh, I see what you did there, Boomstick.
Powerful. A battle with
Of course,
him
now we got
caused
other
universal
problems with
Armageddon,
Spider-Man and MJ in
fitting
Marvel
as his rival
Comics.
Galactus rends the
Zeb Wells.
cosmos asunder.
And Galactus' fights can destroy all of Marvel's infinite multiverse. That's the kind of awesome power at Zarathos' disposal. Total cosmic annihilation.
So it was no surprise when Johnny went down to the underworld and took Hell's throne for himself, usurping the devil that ruined his life and finally grabbing destiny by the handlebars.
Scoring the total power of hell itself, plus a sick-ass upgrade, the Damnation Stare, which skips the whole every pain you've ever inflicted thing and just sends you straight to hell. No shot.
As they say though, uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. Johnny began an obsessive crusade to capture all of Hell's escaped demons. But by using his new power to damn them to hell, he began absorbing their evil, feeding off of it, and it corrupted him. Once again, Johnny Blaze was a man possessed.
In truth, Johnny was just as trapped by Hell's power as he'd always been, and he needed Danny's help to pull him out of the darkness.
Though he gave up Hell's throne, the Ghost Rider continues his war against demons without and within, mentoring his fellow Ghost
Okay,
Riders
that was
in the
Robbie
ways of
Reyes.
vengeance, always prowling the highways for the evil and the profane.
An unstoppable
So
engine
he's
of
out to look for
government
people
that,
who
with just a glance, could make government
use copious swear
himself sit in
words?
trance.
Maybe one day he'll find salvation in the eyes of one of his victims.
'Cause they sure as hell won't find any in his.
All
Al
right.
Simmons was one thing. He was a killer.
Oh, it's the guy who
Colonel in
Joker
the US
carved up
Army
in
and
Dark
the
Knight.
CIA's most
Why
wanted
so
assassin.
serious?
Simmons upheld democracy around the globe at the barrel of a gun.
I never did see
Painting
the animated
world in
series,
red,
though.
White and blue, but mostly red.
Until his final fateful mission when, per his boss's orders, Al was fired.
Haha,
The learning was
Boomstick.
only getting started because Al's immortal soul was on a one-way trip to hell.
Where he cut a deal with Malvosia, the big, naked lord of the 8th Circle of Hell.
By their pact, Simmons would be reborn a Hellspawn, a superpowered commander of Hell's armies, in exchange for seeing his wife one more time.
Oh, buddy, you're just asking to get monkey's pawed.
Al Simmons returned from the dead as a decaying zombie 5 years later, after his wife had already remarried and had a daughter.
There, you saw her. Now get back to work, bitch.
Thus was born the undead warrior from hell itself.
Was that from one of the games?
He's so 90s that he comes all the way back around to being the coolest thing ever. Look upon his edge, wizard, and despair.
Spawn would violently defend New York's downtrodden, while slowly uncovering the full breadth of his demonic powers.
He's like a walking superpower encyclopedia. He can fly, teleport, turn invisible and intangible, move things with his mind, make force fields, control the elements and the weather, and even stop time. Speaking of time, he can fly so fast, he literally breaks into other dimensions and
Okay, is that
smashes time
still
as a
faster than
concept.
Thor's
He can
hammer?
manipulate matter,
Probably.
shifting his own body or transmuting other objects and people. He can even control and absorb your soul.
Wait, Wiz, if he can rearrange molecules and crap, why doesn't he just fix his uggo face?
Well, he tried to do that, but Malbolgia cursed him so that he could only make himself.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's petty trolling like that that gets you a thrown in hell.
To be fair, Spawn can achieve a similar result with illusions and mental manipulation. He can read and control minds, implant and replace memories, or simply drive you mad.
Spawn can do all
What,
this
he makes
crazy
you
shit
play
because he runs on
that NES
necroplasm,
Transformers game
basically
for hours on
hell
end?
juice.
That almost did it for me.
Necroplasm is the energy that makes up hell itself. Al's undead body is composed of 400 pounds of it.
He can
So he
wield
weighs
it
as
like
much
an
as a
energy blast
Terminator.
empowered by the sins of others. Spawn can absorb your evil and feed off of it. By simply walking on Earth, Spawn feels all of humanity's pain all at once.
He's even absorbed the sins of 8 million New Yorkers.
So he feels it
cleansing
whenever
them of their
you
evil.
Like
indulge in
Jesus,
too much
Or he
Tex
can do the
Mex.
reverse and make you experience the full weight of your own sins, feeling every bit of pain you've ever inflicted on others over your whole
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Like some sort of penance.
Though Spawn's necroplasm comes with a catch.
Yeah, he's got a limited amount of the stuff, and it drains every time he uses his powers. If he runs out, he's dragged back to hell.
Even depowered, Spawn can rely on his elite military training in hand-to-hand combat. He's even fought Batman to a standstill.
And as befits his past profession, he loves his big-ass guns.
Though his greatest weapon is the sentient being he's genetically and spiritually bonded to, his cloak. Letha of the 7th House of K.
You ever wonder why his cape's red? Nope, well, now you are, and it's red because it's made from the apple Eve ate in the Garden of Eden. It's literally made of original sin. Oh, and also the souls of a million sinners, including every one of Hell's victims. Also a touch of vampire for
God
good measure.
damn!
Letha is constantly evolving. It can act independently to defend Spawn with an infinite stream of chains, transform into weapons, or drain people of their power. It is the most potent weapon Hell has ever created.
It even helps Spawn. be
So
the
it's basically
primordial Urizen, who can destroy and eat your
The Hellfire
soul
version of a
just
Green Lantern
glare.
ring.
Except the souls bonded to Spawn acted as a buffer, allowing him to survive.
You'd think with an arsenal like that, he'd be unstoppable. But Hellspawns have a weakness to holy weapons and can be killed permanently if decapitated by one.
Though Spawn has managed to survive this in the past. No, Spawn's greatest weakness is his own, how do I put this, stupidity.
So Spawn fought this angel lady, Angela. Great name for an angel. She had this dimensional lance that could wipe Hellspawn out of existence, and Spawn got it. But instead of, being cautious around a mysterious angel weapon that hurts him, he just had to push the big shiny button and activate it on himself.
And so, Spawn was forever destroyed, until he reconfigured reality to undo his own inexistence.
There we are, good as new. That has to be the first time we've seen someone accidentally kill themselves and survive.
On his quest as Hell's greatest warrior, Spawn has defeated a serial killer ice cream man, a demonic clown, and even
John
his old
Leguizamo
boss remade by
is
heaven into an
as the
anti-Spawn.
clown. That was
He's even
classic.
encountered other Hellspawn.
Killing bad guys might seem counterintuitive if you work for a Hell Lord, but it actually just adds more souls to Malvosia's army. An army Spawn would have to lead in a war with heaven that'd kill all of humanity.
Because the reason Malbolgia chose Al to be his commander wasn't that he was some great warrior. It was because Al had proven that he was the best at taking orders.
All his life and all his death, Al was nothing more than a hired gun.
But he knew it, and he would do so no more.
So Spawn marched down to hell and ripped Malvosia's head off with a scream so loud
That's
it
one
echoed
way to
all
tender
of
your
reality.
resignation.
Spawn became the king of the 8th circle of hell.
As king, Spawn is literally a part of Hell itself, gaining access to an unlimited pool of energy that increases 100-fold with every heartbeat. He's effectively omnipotent in there, and strong enough to challenge other Hell Lords like Mammon and Satan.
He got so strong, the only thing left was to finally resolve the war between heaven and hell.
But Spawn needed help from the being who created this god and Satan to begin with, the mother of existence, Gaia.
She wasn't cool with her kids being total assholes, so she appointed Spawn to be the universe's savior.
By eating the fruit from the Tree of Life, Spawn became truly divine, capable of battling God and Satan in a stalemate for eternity that extinguished all life on Earth.
And each of them are powerful enough to create and control infinitely sized universes.
Spawn broke the stalemate by letting God and Satan destroy him, only for Gaia to separate the two from the reality they threatened.
Then, just like that time with the Lance, Spawn respawned and recreated.
Okay, now I'm starting to get the name.
Good as new.
Finally freed of the weight of heaven and hell, Al asked to be reborn as a human. But he knew in his heart he deserved to carry on his undead penance in perpetuity.
He's a creature.
Wow, we're using footage from the toy commercials? Well, that's how a lot of us first kind of knew about him.
Though if you threaten the alley he calls home, beware. Because Spawn will turn whatever's left of your life into a living hell. All right, the combatants are set, and we've run through all
Ghost Rider doing a jig.
Time for one hell of a death battle!
Haha, boomstick, haha. Oh, we're doing 2D.
Nights like these drive
Or
me insane.
just straight up animation like Homelander and Omni-Man.
Something's coming. If it wants a piece of me, there'll be hell to pay.
Go back to the pit you squirmed from, Hellspawn.
Make me.
Yay, guns! Not that like they're gonna do much. Of course, we gotta have some heavy metal track playing.
Care. It's nothing personal. Vengeance calls.
It's like, hey, I got chains and guns too.
Sloppy, you fight like a bum.
You've earned your damnation.
That's not gonna stick, is it? Didn't think so. Oh, drag him in down there where he's got the advantage. Oh shit, Ghost Rider iced Optimus Prime. For what good that did.
Be damned.
Yes, you will.
Really? You had to make that reference? Ah, come on, Spawny, don't sell that! Even though I'm a big Marvel fan, I really don't have a dog in this race.
Cannot disguise your wickedness. God forbid.
Going all supersonic on his ass. Ouch. That's some God of War shit right there.
I am here to wreak vengeance upon your soul. I eat sin for breakfast. Have a taste of your own goddamn medicine.
Oh boy.
Lies. He's the Prince of Lies. Wait, I'm an innocent.
So it came down to whose stare was more penancy?
It's like you said, nothing personal. asshole.
KO! God damn!
Literally. This was a nail-biter of a battle that pitted Ghost Rider's immeasurable power against Spawn's skill and versatility. Let's break this down into 4 categories.
Oh boy.
First up, power. Divine Spawn could match God and Satan, who could create universes. Similar in scale to Ghost Rider's bouts with a lot of the powerhouses in Marvel.
But Zarathos was different. Remember, his power can match that of Mephisto and Galactus, who can threaten all of Marvel's infinite cosmic reality, far greater than any cosmos Spawn has ever affected. Even though Spawn's battled and defeated Satan in more recent comics, implying he's retained a level of power similar to his divine form, he couldn't match Zarathos in power alone.
Ghost Rider may take power, but remember, Johnny actively resists Zarathos' influence, so Spawn may have had time in the fight to learn and adapt to Ghost Rider before he went full Blue Fury.
And Spawn definitely had the edge in skill. He spent decades in military combat and is a master martial artist, whereas Johnny more so relies on his invincibility.
The ultimate dream power for a stuntman. Even with his crazy powers, Ghost Rider was a lot more direct than Spawn, pretty much entirely focused on attacking the soul.
Which doesn't bode well for his versatility. Spawn can stop time, manipulate matter, turn intangible, control minds, warp reality. The Ghost Rider had a much more limited arsenal by comparison. Spawn had a huge advantage in this category.
Though with his invincibility, way greater power, and the ability to scorch your soul to nothing, Ghost Rider could score the win through brute force, right?
Not exactly. The last piece of the puzzle is their resistances. Basically, who was harder to kill. Spawn's constant mainlining of humanity's collective sin and pain meant he could survive attacks on his soul, including the penance stare, just like he resisted a very similar attack from Urizen.
Best of all, remember the time he rewrote reality to undo his own inexistence?
There was nothing the Ghost Rider could do to overpower that. And that time with the lance wasn't planned, it was purely instinctual. He could replicate it any time he wanted, like in his fight with God and Satan.
So how do you put Spawn down for good? Well, you can't. At least Johnny
What
and
was
Zarathos
that with
could.
the
Unlike
Spawn
how
costume
Ghost
on a
Rider's
kid's
soul has
show?
been vulnerable to attack before.
I don't remember that from the
He used
90s.
the penance stare to depower Johnny.
This sort of thing actually happens a lot, even in recent comics. The whole reason Johnny and Zarathos are bonded in the first place is because Zarathos' soul was manipulated by Mephisto.
And not only does Spawn have plenty of experience manipulating souls, he can replicate the effect of the penance stare itself.
And just think about that. A penance stare on Zarathos would mean he's feeling the pain from every penance stare that he's ever done. A penance
Ouch.
squared.
The damnation stare, on the other hand,
Boomstick, I hate how
Spawn,
fitting
sending
that
him to
description
hell where he gets
is.
a literal infinite power boost.
And it wasn't just Spawn's soul powers that had spelled trouble. He had other ways to bypass Ghost Rider's immortality too, like transmutation, rewriting reality, or just straight up stealing his powers, which has worked on multiple Ghost Riders in the past.
Giving Spawn the final edge. Zarathos was almost unbeatable, a massive power advantage, soul destruction, immortality, but Spawn could counter everything thrown at him, and was too unkillable for Zarathos' strength advantage to matter in the long run against his crazier abilities.
That was one hell of a fight, and at least Johnny went out in a blaze of glory.
The winner.
One of your
is
better
Spawn.
pun endings.
Next time on Death Battle.
What is that, Bleach? Or I never watched that.
Subscribe and join as a member
Oh,
to see more
haven't
Death
seen
Battle.
those either.
Thanks for watching.